Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of the RacingBet Preview. I'm your host Tim Geers, joined by Trent Crebbin. We're brought to you this week by PlayUp.com.au. We're taking you through our best bets and best value bets for this weekend's horse racing at Randwick and Caulfield, where we have the listed Winter Challenge headline in the card in Sydney and the Group 3 Sir John Monash Stakes headline in the card at Caulfield. Trent, welcome to this week's show. How's things?
Yeah, good. It's a solid card again at Caulfield. I think the team's been having a pretty good week overall. Yourself in Hong Kong was a good result the other night, and Billy just all over the country wherever he can find a bet, he's hitting a good strike rate. So it's been a good week, and hopefully we'll continue that on Saturday.
Yeah, team's absolutely flying. As you said, Wednesday was a really good one. Billy, I think, has returned 20 units profit from about 7 or 8 betting races this week. He's absolutely flying. So if you haven't checked out his stuff, you're missing out. Make sure you do on RacingBet.com.au. We're trying to carry that form into the weekend and round out what's been a really solid week for the team. You've mentioned the Caulfield card. Randwick, we are expecting to be playing on a pretty wet deck, I would think. It's currently a soft 7. Plenty of rain still around, I think. So no surprise to see the track in the heavy range. And over here in Perth, well, we've had about 6 metres of rain in the last week. Wednesday's card at Belmont was called off. I wouldn't be shocked if tomorrow's card at Belmont was also called off, but fingers crossed it goes ahead. We'll take you through our best bets, and Trent, we'll start with you at Caulfield. Your best is going to come up in race number 7. You're with horse number 3, Think and Fly, currently $3.80 with PlayUp.com.au.
I think Think and Fly is probably the horse to beat here. He's had 2 runs back this prep, and the key with him is third up. He really flies third up. He's had 2 starts for 2 wins. I really liked both his runs this time as well. First up, he kind of just hit the line well. Second up, he ran second to De Graves, where he was a bit unlucky when he kind of got his run taken off by De Graves, who kind of ran about a bit. I think that's kind of topped him off perfectly for here. Like I said, third up is when he really fires. Ollie sticks with him. I think the draw's okay. He should just be midfield. Handles all track conditions. I think he's the horse to beat here, and he's a good price. And I'll be making him my best of the day, and just saving on Chief Our Tony there, who's quite talented, but perhaps maybe wants a little bit of a wetter track. I think it's probably the danger, and it looks a real 2-horse race there, but keen on Think and Fly in race 7.
Yeah, I was just about to mention Chief Al Tony, who's firmly on your list of boyfriends. Interesting to see you taking him on, but you've pretty well answered my question there. So we'll move on to my best bet of the day at Randwick. And this is a horse that I threw in the horses to follow file from last weekend's meeting in Sydney. The other one that raced this week was Berdebeck in yesterday's Grafton Cup, which was a good thing beat, and I won't bring that up any further. But the second horse that I mentioned in last weekend's horses to follow is Harpo Marks, and he goes around here in race number 5 at Randwick. And when I was riding the horses to follow, I knew that he was nominated for this week, and it just looks a perfect setup for him. He's had 2 runs back from a spell now, and I knew he'd improve second up, but I did say last weekend that I thought we may be going run 1 too early, and that third up was the time to get on. I think he's had 3 starts for 2 wins when third up from a spell. Comes into this race over 2,000 metres, stepping up in distance on the quick backup. He ran the fastest final 400 and 200 of the race last weekend. It just needs a good ride from the wide barrier. It is a slightly tricky draw, but as I said, I just think this race is the perfect setup for him. Race 5, number 3, Harpo Marks, currently $2.80 with PlayUp.com.au. Trent, best value bet of the day. Now, normally we try and find something at double figure odds, but it's not often we find one at 80 to 1, and that's what you've done this week. $81, $20 for the place. You're keen on race 9, number 6, Easy Beast at Caulfield as your best value bet of the day.
Yeah, I found quite a few at double figures at Caulfield, actually. Apart from Think and Fly, I think most of the other tips I found in the race are kind of each way prospects, and hopefully we'll be able to jag 1 or 2. But yeah, race 9, number 6, Easy Beast. I think you just have to be forgiving this first up run at Swan Hill in the Golden Topaz. He was caught wide there, midfield, and just kind of faded out of it a little bit. But I think the key with this horse is second up. He's got a good second up record, 7 starts, 2 wins, 3 seconds. And I think he's better suited at 1,400 metres here. The Apprentice was on first up. Now they've put the senior rider, Dean Holland, on for Richard Lanning. Generally races quite well at Caulfield as well, and he's got a really good draw here in barrier 5. So he's going to be right up on speed. He's going to be giving a good kick. And I think he's probably going to outrun that $81 quote. I'm not saying he's, should be single figures or anything, but I think he probably should be shorter in the market around that $26 range, maybe a touch shorter than that. So I think he's a good shout. I think $20 the place is definitely a good bet, and I'll be having something on him, probably 1/3 in that last race at Caulfield.
Yep, nice. It'd be a nice way to round out the card there if that one salutes. Apologies if we're cutting out a little bit, guys. As I said, there's plenty of storms around here in Perth, so my internet connection may not be the strongest, but we're persevering nonetheless. My best value bet of the day in Sydney comes up in the feature. This is race number 8 on the card, the listed Winter Stakes. I found this race really difficult, and I actually found it really difficult throughout the card to find anything that really stood out at double figure odds. But I'm going to play 2 horses small here in the feature. They're horse number 3, Count of Monte Cristo, and horse number 4, Riadini. Count of Monte Cristo is a former Singapore horse. He had his first run on Australian soil last start. He ran home fairly well on that occasion. I think he ran second or third fastest final 200 metres of the race. So he finished off relatively well. Jockey change today, James McDonald, booked for Chris Lees, which is obviously catches the eye. He's placed 6 times at Group 1 level in Singapore, this horse. He's got a terrific record at even Group 2 and Group 3 level. So he really finds a suitable race for him in listed company here. As I said, J-Mac on, comes off a good run first up from a spell, and I thought around double figure odds, he was a live chance in this sort of race. The other one I'll be backing is Riadini. First up, blinkers back on for Gai Waterhouse and Adrian Bott. Last preparation, this horse ran second in a Group 2 Shannon Stakes and third in a Group 1 Epsom Handicap. So that reads very well for resuming in listed company first up here. All 4 wins have come in New Zealand so far, so he still needs to break through for its first win on Australian soil. But as I said, like the setup, blinkers back on, sign of intent from the stable, and he was solidly supported first up last prep. I think he was about $15 into $9 on that occasion. So it wouldn't surprise me to see a similar market move here for this horse. So I'd probably be taking the early double figures on offer. But yeah, something small, number 3, Count of Monte Cristo, and number 4, Riadini, both around $10 at the moment with playup.com.au. Okay, Trent, the feature of the day at Caulfield is the Group 3 Sir John Monash Stakes. Give us a quick tip for that one.
Yeah, look, I've started with number 12, Villamai in the feature. I think getting around 460 across the board there. I think we play up as well. I think she'll probably go straight to the front here from barrier 9, hold out Malkovich for the front. She's got a very good first up record, gets in well at the weight for age, and I think she'll be right there at the finish. So she's on top for me, number 12, Villamai.
Okay, and speaking of the Group 3 Sir John Monash Stakes, that's this week's hat competition. So get onto the RacingBet Twitter account, free hat up for grabs. Just need to predict the winner and the winning margin, and the nearest to pin gets the prize. So I think sent off about 4 or 5 hats in the post this week. We've had a number of entrances over the last couple of weeks when we run this comp, and it's generated plenty of engagement. So if you're keen to win a hat, jump on the RacingBet Twitter account and get involved. Race 8 at Caulfield is the race you're looking for. Okay, Randwick, Caulfield, and hopefully, fingers crossed, Belmont will be covered on RacingBet.com.au this Saturday. Trent, anything else before we sign off?
I think that just about covers us. Yeah, get on the RacingBet Twitter, win yourself a hat, and hopefully Villamai salutes in the feature.
Okay, best of luck this weekend, everyone. Thanks to PlayUp for sponsoring this week's episode, and we'll catch you all again next week. This Saturday. Trent, anything else before we sign off?
I think that just about covers us. Yeah, get on the RacingBet Twitter, win yourself a hat, and hopefully Villamai salutes in the feature.
Okay, best of luck this weekend, everyone. Thanks to PlayUp for sponsoring this week's episode, and we'll catch you all again next week.